Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about real estate and what makes this one of the most attractive investments out there, and why to some people this is the only way to long-term wealth. But before we get started, let's make sure that you like this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any further videos. So today we're going to talk about real estate, something that everybody I'm sure is familiar with, because you're probably watching this from within a building or you live within a building. But real estate is far, far more than just the home that you live in. What is real estate? Well, real estate, in the simplest form, is something that you can touch. Look, I'm in a house right now, and I can touch the walls. It's as simple as that. But ultimately, real estate falls into three main categories: residential, commercial, and industrial. The first category is residential. This is where we live, we eat, we sleep. This can be your house, this can be your flat, and this is the real estate that most people are aware of just because they see it every day. Residential is the single largest category in the real estate market. In the US alone, it is worth more than $27 trillion, and in the UK is worth more than £7 trillion. Simply put, that's because there's a lot of people in these countries and they all need somewhere to live. The next largest category in real estate market is the commercial market. This is anything that is used in relation to business. This can be things from office buildings to retail to hotels. And this market is still huge. In the US, it's worth over $16 trillion. And in the UK, obviously a lot smaller country, is worth around about £900 billion. And finally, we have industrial. And this is normally separated from commercial real estate, as this real estate is specifically used to produce something. This is in the form of factories or warehouses. I don't know about you, but everyone seems to know something about real estate. And real estate signifies wealth in no other way in which any other asset class does. You often hear stories about people holding multiple residential assets as a sign of wealth. However, it is far, far rarer to hear stories about people who have a huge stock portfolio. Real estate is an incredibly popular asset, as it's normally people's goal to own a house or multiple houses. In the UK, real estate accounts for 35% of the population's wealth. That's one of the big reasons why most likely your parents have said, get on the housing market, buy your own house or own some sort of property. Another main reason why real estate is so popular is because you can physically see it. Compared to other financial assets like stocks and bonds, which are either just pieces of paper or nowadays just numbers on screens, real estate, you can physically see the asset, and it's really quite easy to understand compared to bonds or stocks, which have lots of different moving parts. It's far easier to look at a building, understand that it's made of bricks, understand that you can rent it out for people like yourself and earn an income. Compared to other assets, real estate gives the owner of the asset an element of control. With assets such as stocks or bonds, normally an owner is passive, meaning that you can't influence the day-to-day decisions. However, real estate, doesn't matter if you own it from a small flat all the way up to a huge industrial estate or an office building. As the owner, you can influence the design, the leasing, and how that asset is managed. Other than the societal and the personal reasons for investing in real estate, there's obviously a financial benefit. And one big benefit is the fact that you can borrow money in the form of a mortgage to buy a piece of real estate. This greatly reduces the amount of money that you need up front to buy the real estate, because normally these assets are massively, massively expensive. And finally, another huge draw for real estate and what makes them incredibly popular is the way in which you get paid. The way you make money off real estate is really quite simple, and you've probably experienced one or either both of these. The first way is rent, and the next way is capital gains. First is capital gains, and this is quite simply buying low and selling high, and that is the game. And this is probably why your parents and your grandparents love real estate, because when they bought their house 20 or 30 years ago, they bought it for a low price, and now it's probably worth a far, far, far more than what they paid for it. And the other way you get paid is through rent. Now, if you own your own property and you live in it, then obviously this doesn't apply. However, if you buy a property and then you rent it out, such as a house or an office building, you get paid rent from the tenant. And this is then paying you money for the service of being able to stay in that real estate. And this is exactly the same for residential properties in the commercial and the industrial sectors, where it's rare that a company will own its own building. Normally these buildings are owned by landlords and then leased to the company for 5 to 10 years, where they'll normally pay rent quarterly. In essence, the landlord is giving the tenant the right to occupy this building for 5 to 10 years, and as a form of compensation, the company will pay them rent. One of the reasons why real estate is a great investment is the fact that it provides a good, steady income stream. This is because there's normally a contract signed at the start for a certain length of time, meaning that regular income payments get paid. This is kind of similar to a salary and also like a solid dividend paying stock. And the fact that real estate provides capital gains means that it moves in a hybrid form, similar to stocks and bonds. It means you can gain on the capital gains similar to stocks, but also you get regular rental payments similar to bonds. And finally, real estate is a great form of diversification, as it's not strongly correlated with the stock market or the bond market, meaning that it provides you with a different source of income within your portfolio. And also diversification can be provided within the real estate sector. The same way in which you can buy shares in lots of different companies, you can also buy real estate in lots of different sectors. Not only residential, but also you can branch out into offices or hotels. However, like anything in life, there are obviously pros and cons, and whilst real estate is a great investment, there is also some downsides which you need to be aware of. First is the expense. Most people have heard from friends, family, on the news, online, how unaffordable real estate is and how hard it is to get onto the property ladder. Just look at the stats for the first time buyers and how home ownership has been declining for the last 30 to 40 years. Generally, it doesn't matter what form of real estate you take, from undeveloped land right up to huge office buildings, you still need to put a significant amount of money down. In the UK alone, the average residential house price is just over £230,000, which normally to take out a loan you need to put around about 10% down. Therefore, just to buy an average house in the UK, you need to put over £20,000 down. Next, it is a liquid, and by liquid I mean that it cannot be turned into cash very easily, as transactions in real estate take a long time. This isn't just because there's large sums of money are being transferred, but it's also because of the complexity. Unlike buying a stock via an online broker, real estate is normally done face to face and has a number of different parties involved, from lawyers to agents to mortgage brokers. All of these processes take time, and here in the UK, it normally takes around 3 months to go from putting a property under offer to finally exchanging and getting the keys. Another key consideration when investing in real estate is the fact that it isn't passive. As opposed to investing in other financial assets like bonds and stocks, where you buy the asset and you sit back and let the management do the work, real estate is far more active unless you want to pay for someone to manage it. And the fact that it's so much more active is not for everyone, and not everyone necessarily enjoys dealing with tenants or issues at a property. Despite the fact that real estate is expensive and illiquid, there is a way which an individual with not a lot of money and in a relatively cheap way can buy into real estate. This is in the form of a REIT, or a real estate investment trust. These are stocks which are traded on the stock market for companies whose only business is holding real estate. Overall, real estate is a great investment and a great store of wealth. The long-term capital gains and the fact that you can derive income from the rent make it fantastic as a source of income and long-term wealth. However, there are significant barriers to entry, which means that it may not be right for everyone, especially people starting off on their investment journey. I know there are a lot of people out there who see that buying and owning your own house as an essential investment. However, by buying and living in your house, you're only banking on the capital gains and missing out on the significant income stream that you could be gaining off that property. This may mean that there are other investments which are better suited for you as an individual and provide you better returns over the long term. However, that's a completely different video that we can go through at a later date. So I hope this video has given you a good overview of real estate and the fact that this isn't just residential real estate that's out there, There's obviously the commercial and the industrial side. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on real estate, and if you've bought your own real estate, please let me know if it was a great investment or you would have preferred to save your money on other things. And finally, before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.